Hello. We are
Yay,
live.
finally.
Wait, just sorry.
Does she
Okay.
want to?
This is already not going well. Okay, so I just have to give a little disclaimer. My dog's been sleeping, and now that we're live, she's awake and full of energy, and she's not going to tolerate me sitting here. So, just a warning.
It's okay if she wants to say hi. Just
She throws over my laptop. She puts her head under the laptop and throws it over.
wow. She's
Anyway.
persistent. Okay.
No, I'm telling you, this is gonna be a little bit of a nightmare, but I'm home alone and someone's gonna come home now and then it will be better and I will let her out and then we will have peace. Let me at least get her to say hi. There we
Hi.
go.
Oh, she's super.
She's a bundle of energy. She's ADHD. She's ADHD. She has ADHD.
Yeah,
But we love her.
can confirm.
Can confirm. Anyway, start the live show, please.
Okay.
Introduce.
Hello. Welcome to our City of Ashes. No, that's not the book. Wow. City of Lost Souls.
They all
That is,
start the same.
yeah. City of Lost Souls live show. That's the book. And thank you so much for watching and for reading with us this month. I'm Bianca, and this is my co-host, Laia.
Hello, welcome. I'm so out of it this time. Welcome, thanks for joining us. If you read with us this month, thank you so much. And just a little reminder, this live show is a safe space. We expect everyone to be respectful and everyone is welcome. So we hope you enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Shall we jump right into our general thoughts on the book? Okay.
Must I start? Let me just start because it's not good.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just be transparent over here. She just bit me. Okay. I finished the book 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes. So I don't have any. Normally, I have notes. I have a script to follow. I have no script today. I have no notes. So everything's going to be coming out of my head. Okay. So, yeah, just honesty. And last time, I also took long to read the book. So last time and this time, I took 2 weeks. But last time it was the book's fault. This time it was my fault. Because for the first week, I just wasn't in the mood to read. I think I had a bit of a reading burnout type of situation. And last week, the Olympics started. And it's been taking up a lot of my time, a lot of my focus. And I'm not sorry because the Olympics only happen like once every 4 years, whereas my books aren't going anywhere. So there's that. Anyway, so generally, this book, even though it took me so long to read, this book is my favorite of them all. Like, I think of all 6, this book is my favorite. I just love it. Just everything in it. Particularly what I love is the floating apartment. Like, I was looking forward to that. I was looking forward to reading about that, and everything that the other characters do, like raising the demon, raising the angel, like all their story. Also, Maya and Jordan's story and visiting the praetor. Like, there's just so many things in this book that I love. And even the moments that Clary had with Sebastian, even though they were fake, like in the moment, I really loved those moments because it kind of gave a glimpse into what it would be like if she did have a brother who was not evil. And I just really like those moments. So, oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, yes, please talk. Lucy.
Okay, I like that it's your favorite book. It's cool to know. And this, I don't know. I feel like I love this book so much more because of the way we're reading it.
Mhm.
And I think the very first time when I read these books, this one was where I was like, why are we doing this? And I stopped reading. So
Mhm.
I enjoyed like looking for the little Easter eggs and things hinting at the past and the future a lot, and there was quite a few of them in this book, so I really enjoyed that.
Mhm.
Um, and then I loved seeing Simon and Clary's friendship in this as well, and it was a lot nerdier. And like we know they are like kind of geeky, nerdy people, but in the previous books, they mostly focused on, like the shadow hunter thing and Simon turning into a vampire, and then Clary's really focused on Jace.
Mhm.
But in this, like their friendship was a big part of the storyline. Um, and they have a few little flashbacks that was really cute. Like Simon noticed Clary's dinosaur umbrella that he got for her one time, and he gave her manga as like a gift.
Mhm.
And even when they were separated and had to communicate like long distance, which was like really cute, I thought that she picked Simon to be the one to communicate with. And then he'd ask her that like little question about the Smurfs, you know,
That
it's
was
like
funny. I was like, seriously?
yeah, and we got introduced to a bunch of new things. Like we got to meet Helen and Jules, which was really fun to
Mhm.
see. And like I love that it started showing how Alec and Magnus's relationship was affecting the rest of the Shadow Hunters, because like Aileen thanked him for like pretty much coming out in front of everyone, because that gave her the courage to do the same, and it was just
Mhm.
so cute. Um, oh, and we got to see the Iron Sisters for the first time in like two separate ways, which I thought was
Mhm.
really cool because we haven't seen them before.
Exactly. This
Um,
book just has so many cool things in it.
it does. It was really cool, and I also really enjoyed the Europe part, and I liked seeing like a bit like hinting at the different types of cultures, and like in the one place where they were in that club, how the werewolves and vampires were allies, and that was really cool
Mhm.
to see that it's not like the same in the whole world.
Mhm. That's
Um,
also something that I really like is the Europe, like being in Europe. Like that's why, like not only the like floating apartment thing, but
yeah,
also when they go out and they're like in Europe. I just found it so
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I feel like she got slightly inspired by Howl's Moving Castle for that thing, and I love that,
Mhm.
I guess, movie. And I read the book when I was really young, so I did enjoy that as well. And um, I wish Clary got to explore a bit more of it, because I feel like there were so many little hidey holes that she didn't get to see, and then it just disappeared. So I'm a bit sad about that, but
Mhm.
it was really cool.
Mhm.
Um, and oh, Maya and Jordan, just like they have moments that just made me so happy with like they
Mhm.
look, well they won't they, and then they do, and I don't know, it was just fun seeing them.
Mhm.
Bittersweet.
I know. I
um
love their relationship and that they're finally together again.
I know, right? It was so cute.
And but they were all like in the like new stage again, and everything was
Yeah,
like, even though they had been together before, like everything was new again, and it was just so sweet to see.
it was. And I also like that we got to see the praetor, and you mentioned that a bit.
Mhm.
That was interesting. And then like it was cool how that person in charge was a descendant of Wolsey Scott.
Mhm.
Cool. Oh,
Yes,
and
and like we
also
got to meet Woolsey.
yes,
It's like we read about Woolsey, we met Woolsey, and then we met Woolsey's descendant.
yeah, it's really cool. I love seeing that.
Mhm.
Speaking of descendants, though, I'm just curious how like the Fairchild name. carried on, but that's a whole other level of my brain.
Should look at the family tree thing.
Yeah, I really need to do that. I'm really curious. And
Mm.
then when just like random things that I picked up on too, just like Magnus doesn't have a belly button, and I was like, what the hell? That was
Oh,
so.
I knew that. Yeah.
I probably knew, but I forgot. Like, because I know there's like fan art where he doesn't have one, and I was like, oh, that's odd. Is that because he's a warlock? Do all warlocks not have belly buttons?
I don't know if it's that or if it's part of his mark, like his warlock mark.
Maybe, but I'm gonna like look into it maybe later.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then just the last part that I just wanted to mention that doesn't really fit in any of the other areas was just like at the beginning of the book there was this quote where I think it was just after Jace disappeared and they were talking about how Clary wants to go after him, and then Alex says something along the lines of Jace will burn the whole world down to find you and he'll dig you out of the ashes or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then like later in the book, Sebastian says that he will burn the world down to get what he wants, and that like burning the world down thing was like a theme throughout the book, which
Mm-hmm.
was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and then like just like them being connected throughout the book um, made me wonder about how much Sebastian was actually affected by Jace being connected to him, and if he
Mm-hmm.
was just pretending the whole time, and it was stressing me out. But I think like he was pretending.
I also think he was pretending because of how he treated Clary after Jace left.
Yeah, yeah. I do mention that scene later. Yeah, well, those were most of my general thoughts.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
what was your favorite part of the book?
Now I have to think. Um, well, one of my favorite aspects, not part. I'm gonna think about the part though. One of my favorite aspects, like I've already said like twice now, is the floating, moving apartment thing. I don't know why. I just find it so cool. Like it's just one of my favorite parts, and like even when we were reading the previous books, I looked forward to reading this book that has the floating apartment. I just thought it was really, really cool. I just loved it. And hmm, it's hard to pick a favorite because so much happened. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
this book, I feel like this book had the most things happening.
it did. I mentioned quite like a few things. I just didn't want to put them in the
Mm-hmm.
general one because they made me happy. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. Do you want me to
Yes,
tell
you
you?
go, and then maybe I'll like agree with you.
Oh my gosh, this is like some of my ramblings while I was reading the book. I
Mm-hmm.
literally wrote Isabelle simping for Simon and like the Star Wars fairy tale moment that they had. It was
I
so
know, but there was like a few of them. And when Simon or someone mentioned being bitten by a spider, like what was that about? And
yeah, yeah,
then and
yeah.
then Isabel was like, I actually know what you're talking about.
They
So
were
that was very cute.
oh, I just love them. And like how she'll like pretend sometimes that she doesn't know, but like she's really smart. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she was just I think she was really like scared in this book, and it's something really new for her, so I like that we got to see a bit of her vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Also,
yeah.
when she went to Clary and was like, "How do you know?" It was like so cute.
It was super cute. Ah. Um and then I also mentioned like their time in Europe. Like I had like a love hate relationship with it because I was like, ugh, you guys shouldn't be having like good times while the rest of the world is so worried about you. But I liked seeing the Europe part.
I actually liked that Clary was like a little bit enjoying herself, even though like it wasn't the real Jace, but that she was just like enjoying herself a little bit, and I actually like that.
Yeah, and like I like how she mentioned it at the end again, like how um she was doubting whether Jace wanted to be there or not and what she was saving him from and if he was actually happier like this. And
Mhm.
she obviously just wants him to be happy. And
Mhm.
like that moment that they have when he was like saying that he got lost in himself and what was going on with him, and it gave him perspective again. So
Mhm.
it's cool. And we got to see fairies again. Oh my gosh, I've been missing the fairies. So yeah,
Was it only like obviously when Clary went to visit the Sealy Queen, and
yeah,
then yeah, you talking about that part?
yeah. And then we got to see like they spoke about Helen and her ancestry a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, and then I think there was like a mermaid at some point as well, and I feel like that counts as like a fairy type creature.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Oh, and like Sebastian met up with Melion, so
Mhm.
it was like a few, and I was like, I want to see more fairies.
I know
um,
the Sealy Queen's betrayal though.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
just she's just so evil on the inside.
she is. Um, I think she's just selfish. I don't know. Like, it's more just like pick the side of the winner, and she like betted on Sebastian this time around. Um,
Maybe. I don't know, but she never bets on like the good people. She always bets on the evil.
yeah. And then also like Luke and Jocelyn and their moments, and like there was that whole like montage where she was remembering her wedding to Valentine, and
Mhm.
then like not realizing that Luke was in love with her, and I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm enjoying the adult parts of it a bit more, whereas like when I read it when I was younger, I was just like, I don't care, just
Mhm.
yes.
It was so sad also when Luke when Sebastian
Yeah,
stabbed Luke like
yeah, I was upset too. Oh, and then the last thing I wrote there was Magnus's sequin battle armor because he's just extra wherever he goes.
Mhm. That was funny. Like only Magnus would find sequin battle
Yeah,
armor.
so funny.
That
Um,
is funny. But like iconic.
yeah, he is. He just
Mhm.
is. Uh, Um, okay. What about your least favorite?
Hmm. Definitely when Sebastian like fought Clary and like hurt her and threw her against walls and into a glass table that the table broke, and
Yeah,
then when Jace was like, "What happened?" and then just didn't care.
yeah, yeah,
That was definitely, I mean, you just saw all those moments that they had together, like Paris was the big one where they went and had the croissant with the chocolate,
yeah,
and then that happens, and then you're like and the realization of like, oh, he didn't change.
yeah. And he like wanted to rape her. Like that was what it was leading up to.
I know,
That
and
was
and the whole like you belong with me, and it doesn't matter if we are brother and sister are like meant to be together. And but I liked when Clary was like, I didn't realize you were out of your goddamn mind.
Oh, I'm really like proud of her for like fighting back though. Like it must have been really hard.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was also my least favorite moment was that, and also just like I'm just concerned about like the mental effects it's gonna have on her and Jace, like long term, like that whole time, and also that day. And I wonder if she's gonna tell him about it.
Maybe. I don't know. um, I don't know because now they've had this moment and Jay's like realized everything. So I think they'll be okay.
Okay. Yeah, we do have 3 hosts today. Lucy is joining us.
One of the hosts doesn't want to be here. She's trying to end the live stream.
She's so cute.
She's chewing a empty pill bottle now. So
Wow. Oh my goodness. I really struggled to like want to take pictures of quotes this time around, so shall we move on to some of the questions?
I don't have
Okay.
any like I didn't make any notes. Didn't take any pictures. This just wasn't my reading month. It just really wasn't my reading month.
Although I was really organized this month as like a change of pace, so
I know.
I was
I
on the ball
know.
with my
Lucy
reading.
agrees.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Let's just like
No,
keep.
you really were. You were really good, like being on track and everything. Well done.
I feel like being on holiday had a lot to do with it, but you know, fine.
Probably.
Okay.
I was like the opposite of on holiday.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she's having a time. Mine aren't here right now, so I'm not having any disruptions.
No, I knew this would be interesting since the second we started.
Actually, I was like, I had the chew toys here in preparation, and then I forgot that Lilo's one, this one, it actually makes a lot of noise because she bites it, and then it makes like little sounds. So I'm glad she's not here doing that right now. Anyway, question 1.
That was question 1. Lucy. No. Lucy.
Bork.
I'm so sorry. I'm like just not prepared in any way, shape, or form. I want to. Okay, never mind. Let's just. Okay, never mind. I just want her to shush.
Question 1.
Okay. Question 2, you mean?
Yeah, question 2. Okay. What would you have done if you were in Magnus's shoes? The whole Alec thing.
I mean, Magnus took it really well in the like. I'm like talking during the whole like book, during everything. He never cornered Alec about it. He never questioned it. He like took it really well until like that last moment where he just kind of was like, no, it's like we're done. And I don't blame him for that. I really don't. So I guess I kind of agree with what Magnus did because Alec needed to realize that what he did really wasn't okay.
Yeah. And for those of you who weren't paying attention, basically Alec was really insecure throughout the book because Magnus is immortal and he's not. So he considered making a deal with Magnus's ex to take away Magnus's immortality.
X, who is a vampire and also immortal.
Yeah.
And they've known each other for hundreds of years.
Yes. So yeah, like kind of deciding your significant other's life, or like when their life ends, that's pretty messed up,
Hmm.
you
And I
know?
also agree with what Magnus said, that Alec could have made it obvious that he wasn't interested by not going back and by not contacting her. He didn't have to go back to her to say it
Mm.
was over, but then he kind of admitted that he wanted to talk to someone who knew Magnus back then. But like, I just think he should have been honest with Magnus and told him how he felt and like
Yeah,
asked what he wanted to ask instead of going behind his back for like a long time.
yeah. And I mean, like, I kind of understand Alex's point of view as well, because it's kind of his first ever relationship. And I mean, thinking back on mine, yours, everybody I know's first relationships, things didn't go that well. And people tend to be insecure. So, like,
Hmm.
I get it. And, like, Alex meant to be, what, how old is he? 17?
Alec, no, he's
Yeah.
19.
Is he? Okay.
Because
Now?
he's one like part of the adults. Yes, he's 19.
Okay. Either way, still, regardless of age, he's still a teenager. And
19 is still very young, not in Shadowhunter world, but in real world. But
yeah, in the real world,
we
it's
only have to
really,
focus on Shadowhunter world.
yeah. And like, dating someone older than you is hard regardless, but as a teenager, don't recommend. So that whole part of it is concerning, but that's a big theme in YA lit, is teenager dating an immortal who's stuck in a young body, and that confusion of like them having all of this experience but still like being young in a way. It's
Mhm.
difficult to navigate. Um,
Mhm.
but I also really respect Magnus that he actually said to Alec that he cares about Alex so much that he would have given up his immortality on his own without someone
Mhm.
needing to do it behind his back. You know what I mean? So I love Magnus's development, and also that he set boundaries. Like, I really respect
Mhm.
that he did that.
I feel like he's been through enough though to know which boundaries to set.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's like we don't really see the depth of their relationship in these books, and just because I have read the Bane Chronicles, I know, but when we do read the Bane Chronicles, you really will see the
what they
depth of their relationship and
yeah.
how they actually really feel about each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I imagine like it's really hard for Alec as well because of his parents. And like he mentioned that one scene as well where he was telling Isabelle that he didn't mention all of these things because it's not like a, what did he say? It's not like a stab wound you can
It's
protect me
like
from.
1,000 paper cuts every day,
So, yeah. So that was hard.
or a
And so like,
million, or whatever the number was.
yes. So, like, at the
Mhm.
same time, Alex also coming to terms with his sexuality and coming out, whereas Magnus called himself a freewheeling bisexual, and he basically doesn't care.
Mhm.
And it's hard. Um, but yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add to this, or do you want to do question two?
Mhm.
Question two. Okay. So, what are your thoughts on Clary's choices in this book?
I'm just trying to think. So, so the main one would obviously be her going after Jace.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have done it for her. And they say that over and over, and I think she did what she had to do. and she wasn't going to be happy just staying home, not doing anything. She was never going to accept that in the first place. So it would have driven her crazy not to go after Jace, and it worked out in the end.
I mean, did it though? Like, I I agree that like the initial choice like kind of worked out with her kind of keeping tabs on them and finding out their plan. But then she made the other choice of when Jace wanted to leave and he took the new like demon cup that they wanted to, well, it wasn't a demon cup yet, just the cup before it turned demonic. Jace wanted to go, turn himself in, and he was willing to risk getting into trouble, and she kept him like
I
away.
know, but he wasn't only risking trouble, he was risking literal certain death.
I know he
Like they were
was.
gonna kill him on the spot. And she did do that for selfish reasons, and she did admit that. Like afterwards, before she did like stab him with what's that sword's name? Glorious, with the heavenly fire sword. Um while she was thinking before she did that, she realized that it was selfish of her, and Jace would rather die than live like he did. But in that moment she didn't want to risk that. But
Yeah,
I still think in a way it was a good decision, because otherwise things wouldn't have turned out the way they did, obviously.
but also the only reason this is even happening was because of the other decision that she made to bring Jace back to life. So
Okay, but you can't blame her for that, because that was Lilith. The binding of Sebastian and Jace was Lilith's doing.
I
Clary did
know,
not do that on purpose.
I get that, but like, I guess messing with life and death and like behaving in ways that it's like it's unnatural. Like what she did was unnatural, and you know, it's pretty much a common theme in most stories, anything to do with magic, that you're not meant to bring people back to life and bad things will happen. And so she's a big enough geek, in my opinion, to know that. And like, she knew what she was risking and then keeping it secret as well. Both of them made that decision. And yeah, pretty much them like keeping all of this to
I don't.
themselves.
But I
What
don't blame her for making that decision. I really don't. I think anyone in her position would have.
I guess. But
Because he
yeah,
wasn't meant to. It's not like he died in some kind of battle or something. You know? He was like murdered as a sacrifice. So
I know.
no, I don't blame her for doing that.
But yeah, um, yeah. But now a lot of other people are dying, and I don't know if it was worth it for one person's life. All of the other bad things that are happening in the like
hmm
big scheme of things.
But
But
if
then
you
we
think
went back
about it,
up. But yeah,
but if you think about it, even if Jace died, no, I guess Sebastian would also still be dead.
he would be exactly. So
Mm.
he wouldn't be there. The cup wouldn't exist because again, the cup was Jace's idea. He said that
But
it was
okay, no, but Lilith could have still brought Sebastian back and just um like tied or connected him with someone else that wasn't Jace. So it probably would have still happened just with someone else, not Jace.
but she said that the only reason she could do that was because Clary brought Jace back to life and it messed with the balance of things. So a life was owed from the dark side because they brought a
Maybe
good
that
life.
was just her twisted thinking.
No, but there are rules though. That's the thing though.
Mm.
Like with and law. Like, there are rules. So I still don't think like at the
Well,
end of it that they made good decisions. And like it's all like romantic and whatever, but at the end of the day, they're ruining lots of people's lives. And even the whole like thing that's going to happen now with the fairies, that wouldn't have happened either. And yeah, so
well, like you said, then we wouldn't have a book.
yeah, we
And this
wouldn't.
is a fantasy series, so
I know.
what do you expect?
So
I don't know.
yeah,
I enjoy it. I don't know. It's
I do
all
enjoy
part
it.
of the reading experience.
That's why I added this question in, because I think it's like good to discuss like the morality of their choices and whose selfishness is like redeemable, I guess.
You can't have a main character die.
Yeah. Okay. Question 3. What connections did you make to the infernal devices this time around?
The Infernal Devices is the one with Tessa and Will and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you put a question in there about another series?
Yes.
Okay, that's why I'm asking because I'm confused. I don't have the questions with me, by the way. um, honestly, I didn't pick up on many this time. All the other times they've been very obvious, but not this time. So maybe
Okay.
if you say something or bring it up, I'll realize, but I didn't make any connections from my like perspective.
Okay.
Besides,
Well,
sorry, besides Camille and Woolsey Scott, obvious, like,
yeah.
but those are the obvious ones.
Well, Magnus had Woolsey's snuff box, like it
Mm-hmm.
had WS on it, and he like clarified later that it belonged to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was cool, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the Clockwork Angel is in the library, and I mentioned it before in the live show that I thought it was gonna appear, and it did. It's in the library. When she was looking for the rings, she saw the Clockwork
Tessa's
Angel.
Angel.
Yes, the
I did
Clockwork Angel.
not even
It's
catch that. I didn't even
yeah.
catch that. That's crazy. I didn't even. My mind just like.
um, and then there was like the scene where they were talking about like the memory, no, not the memory spell, the like protection spells that they put on them, and because Clary asked if she had them put on her, and there has to be like a silent brother and an iron sister there, and the silent brother that was there, I'm assuming it was brother Zachariah, I think they said that, and then they said there was a female warlock, and I'm like,
Like,
Tessa.
obviously, it's Tessa.
They didn't say who, but I'm like,
But, like, obviously, it's Tessa.
yeah,
I'm, like, just wondering why is her Clockwork Angel in the New York Institute and not in the London Institute?
I don't know. I don't know. But
It should be
yeah,
in London because that's weird.
yeah, I have no idea. But it is there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then also, I don't know if you remember, but like, it's like it was said that Will Herondale doesn't like ducks.
Mm-hmm. And Jace also doesn't like ducks. I
Yeah,
did catch that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, he said it the first time in this book.
It's like a
Um,
Herondale thing to be scared
yeah,
of ducks.
yeah, I think James, is that his name? Yeah, he mentions it in one of the books as well.
But I'm pretty sure that comes from
Will.
no. From what's this book's name? That classic book I always want you to read. Mm, how did I forget the name? It's on my shelf, but I'm not gonna go look now.
Catching the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye. I'm pretty sure it comes from Catcher in the Rye because the character in that also hates ducks. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Like I could be wrong, but that's what my memory is telling me. That because he like spent a lot of time in the park or something. I don't know, but the character in Catcher in the Rye hates ducks.
Okay, now I
Or
want to
maybe
read.
it's something. No, maybe it's something like some other animal. But that's what my memory is telling me.
Oh, that's funny. Um, okay. Then also like obviously the Praetor Scott, which we've mentioned before, but like Wolsey's descendant is there.
hmm It was quite cool when they said the Praetor has always been like headed by a Scot. So that was
Yeah,
pretty cool when they said that.
I like that too. And then they also like mentioned Isabel's necklace, and that's like Magnus made that for Camille. That's where
Did
the
they say
necklace.
that in this book?
No, they didn't say it. They like nearly say who made it because they were. I think it was when they were with the Silly Queen, and she was saying about like fairies making things or something, or like maybe it was somewhere else. But they were talking about like her necklace.
hmm
No, it was the Iron Sisters. It was the Iron Sisters, I think. One of the two. But they were talking about like making like
hmm
things. Um and then they started mentioning Isabel's necklace, and then they stopped just before they said like who made it. So it didn't come out that Magnus made it, but I know that Magnus made it for Camille. Like I don't know where I know that from, but I know that that's a fact.
But how does she not have it anymore? How did
She gave it
Anna
to
get
Tessa.
it?
She gave it to Tessa when she turned into her to go to the party. That's how she could turn into Camille. That's the necklace that she gave her. Like,
Ah, I'm just wondering how did it end up like being a shadow hunter necklace instead of staying with Camille? Because Camille's obviously still alive, but we know that Anna also had that necklace.
yeah, she ran away. That's like what happened.
Oh.
And then I think Tessa probably gives it to one of the Lightwoods. And
hmm
then whoever Anna's mom is gives it to her. I can't remember now who.
hmm Oh, it's
Shh, spoilers.
okay, never mind.
um,
But I know
yeah,
who it is.
yeah, me too. I just realized. Okay. And then the last one was that Jace has Will Herondale's copy of A Tale of Two Cities. Or like
Yes, he does. I know. And then the like when Will signed it and slid it under Tessa's desk, it's that copy that he wrote to Tessa, and then we see the message and the name in the copy that Jace reads. But I'm
Valentine,
wondering if
and I'm like, how did he get it? Like where did he get that?
but listen, I think it's destroyed now because the apartment was
Yeah,
Clary destroyed the apartment and that book is in there, so it's probably gone now.
that's fucking messed up. No. Oh, that's really sad. Anyway, yeah, that was the last
Did
point
I
I
just
had.
make you realize that? hmm
Oh,
Are you
okay.
crying?
No, just like crying.
Okay, I was like, are you are you
But I
okay?
would
It's just
cry
a book.
over a book being destroyed, literally, though.
I know, especially because it's from Will to Tessa.
Yeah, it's very sad. Okay. Last question. Did you notice any foreshadowing for the dark artificers?
I was gonna mention that, but then I saw you had a question about it, so I just left it for now. Yes, and this was actually gonna be like part of my talking points before I even saw the questions you wrote. My throat. Um, that I did not realize that the Wild Hunt was already like established in Cassie's Clare in like the world, that the Wild Hunt had already been established. Because I honestly thought that this was like separate, and then she only like made the Wild Hunt and created it later in the later book. So that was quite like a moment for me, like, oh, okay, this already exists, because I thought she only like created it later. And then when Clary and Jace are in the boat in Venice and they see the Wild Hunt go over,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. And there was one more thing. I don't know, maybe if you mention it, then I will remember. But there is one more thing that I wanted to mention.
Uh, we met like Helen and Jules, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Just briefly, and like I don't feel like we ever really meet people for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That was not the thing that I had in mind, but yes.
did your book also have the like short story at the end?
Mm-hmm. But I didn't have chance to read it.
Ah, okay. But in that one, like it's a short story about I'm just gonna tell you. It's like when uh Sebastian kills the actual Sebastian, and when he
Mm-hmm.
does that, the person he pretends to be is Mark Blackthorne,
Oh,
which is interesting. Yeah, and then he talks
interesting.
about like how he has like three brothers and three sisters. Um, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
another one I
Interesting.
wrote
There is
down.
another one. I hope it comes to me before this live show ends. But there is something else that I picked up on besides the Wild Hunt. But it was also something along those lines. It wasn't to do with characters, I don't think.
Okay, but also like Cassie, she didn't make up the Wild Hunt. It exists in like fairy lore.
Oh,
Yeah, just
okay.
yeah,
Well, then in that case, I thought she just put it into her world later on. I didn't realize she'd already had this like she'd already planned those books while she was writing these.
yeah. It's quite cool. She has like so
Mm-hmm.
many that we don't pick up on
Like
until like
otherwise, we wouldn't have made these other characters that you just mentioned if she wasn't already planning those other books, which is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It's really cool though. Um, yeah, that was all that I had. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to today's live?
Not that I can think. Like, I wish I had time to make notes. If I had notes, then maybe, but no.
That's
This month
okay.
just wasn't my month.
That's okay.
Is
Um,
that all?
yeah, that's literally
Oh,
all. I don't have any like other quotes. I don't know. I didn't like I said I didn't take pictures of quotes, and
it's
I
like,
didn't. Yeah,
it's bothering me now that I can't think of the other thing. Like, it has. I know there's something else.
you'll think of it later
hmm
in the
When
middle of
it's
the
too
night.
late. hmm Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
we can wrap up.
Yes,
So
let's do that because someone just arrived home and Lucy's like all up and about now. So now would be a good time.
and thank you to everyone for joining us.
my okay. Let me just mute my.
Okay. Thank you for joining us and participating, and we hope you're enjoying the live shows and that you're enjoying Shadowhunters as much as we are and geeking out along with us. Do you want to say
And
goodbye?
please join us next month for Clockwork
Princess.
Princess. Clockwork Princess. Yes, and we look forward to reading with you the finale of that trilogy. It's gonna be very it's gonna be very exciting. Reading the finale of that trilogy. So hope to see you then, and follow us on social media at the Parabatai Book Club on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads. Right?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. See you next time. Bye.